These are the most emotional moments in NFL history, which includes a larger-than-life personality, a miracle recovery, and the youngest coach ever. Especially after the event last season surrounding the scary play with Damar Hamlin, football has a way of representing all of us, the thrills of success, turmoil of loss, and everything in between. Let's start with the inspirational story of Ryan Shazier. If you remember, Ryan's football career came to a grinding halt back in December 2017 during a Monday Night Football game. Leaving his teammates stunned, Ryan was carted off in an ambulance and later confirmed the worst: paralyzed from the waist down. But did that stop Ryan from living his life? Beating all odds, Ryan's faith and determination kept his eyes on the goal to walk again. Then, in an emotional moment, Ryan rejoins his brothers when he walks onto the field during the pregame. Talk about not needing extra motivation to win a game. If you don't feel this in your gut, then you might be an alien. Talk about sheer determination. Another example of pure determination and patriotism is the man at number 9, Pat Tillman. While Pat only played 4 seasons in the NFL, his legacy remains as one of passion and duty to country. A man led by his principles, respect of others, pride in his nation, and love for his family. The Arizona Cardinals rightly constructed a bronze statue in honor of Pat, and stands as a reminder that football, while an entertaining game, is just a game, and life has meaning. Pat Tillman sacrificed his in service to protect our freedoms and values. With number 8, we remember a guy whose value was overlooked for a long time. But when he stepped into the spotlight, his larger-than-life personality engulfed everyone around him, much like he engulfed offensive lines for the Baltimore Ravens. The late Tony Siragusa, a Super Bowl champion, almost didn't make the league. Tearing his ACL in college, Tony went undrafted until the Indianapolis Colts took a chance on him, as a backup long snapper. Talk about doing whatever it takes to make it. Tony worked his way to Baltimore, where he began to play a pivotal role in their devastating defense. The Goose may have been mayhem on the field, but off the field, this guy brought his infectious humor to anyone in earshot. Hard work over a long period of time pays off, and for Tony, it ended full of laughs and success. You know what else is successful? Beating cancer. At number 7, Eric Berry's bout with cancer was unforgettable. The heart and soul of the Kansas City Chiefs defense since he joined the team in 2010, Eric was forced to step away from the game because of Hodgkin's lymphoma in 2014. Eric was no wimp when it came to adversity. Early in his career, he overcame an ACL injury and returned to the Chiefs better than ever to lead their defense. And the fight with cancer was no different. In a little less than 7 months and many rounds of treatment, Eric received news that he was cancer-free. Then the work began on a return to football. And in September 2015, after beating cancer, Eric returned to the field with tenacity and passion. We all have passion for our favorite teams, and we all think we can coach them. At number 6, the youngest coach ever had his dream come true. Carolina Panthers superfan Jack Bolton became coach for a day, even signed a contract to prove it. Riverboat Ron Rivera took a side seat and let Jack take the reins. Make-A-Wish Foundation and the NFL helped this coach live out his dream, complete with a team breakdown. Another legendary effort put forth in a time of angst was Hall of Famer Brett Favre's
What the hell is Brett Favre doing here?
I'm in town to play the Dolphins, you dumbass.
spectacular game on Monday Night Football nonetheless, after the passing of his father.
Young coach called and said, Miss Favre will do whatever you want. He can come home. I said, oh no, his dad would really have a fit if he didn't play in the game.
You know, and it didn't take long for me to say, you got to play in this game. All the times he told me to get my ass up, get your ass out there and play. Are you crazy?
Talk about playing in honor of your loved ones. Brett threw for 311 yards in the first half, and he finished the night just shy of 400 yards. A couple of touchdowns and a well-deserved win. Favre saying after the game, quote, I wanted to play better than I've ever played before. Well, what a way to remember his father. Here's another event that will be remembered for a very long time. Hurricane Katrina devastated a vast area along the Gulf Coast in 2005, but none was hit harder than Ground Zero, New Orleans, Louisiana. The flooding and storm surges were like nothing ever seen before. The Saints' home stadium, the Superdome, wasn't spared either. Somehow, debris and garbage even got inside the stadium. Once cleaned, the Superdome was used as a mass shelter, housing upwards of 10,000 residents. While the initial event put the city in turmoil, it also pulled the city together, people helping people.
People helping people.
That's very admirable.
And this all culminated in September 2006, when the Saints hosted their first home game after the storm. Talk about a rebuild. You know someone else who had to rebuild himself? The team physician literally called this recovery a miracle. Alex Smith, a former #1 pick, would not ever see this coming. One fateful night in November 2018 would change the course of his career. Tackled awkwardly with his right leg underneath him, Alex's right leg would suffer a compound fracture of both the fibula and the tibia. It took more than 15 surgeries before recovery was even a mere thought. As if that wasn't enough, he almost lost his life when a post-operation infection almost turned deadly. Luckily it didn't, and Alex beat the infection and another 10, yes, 10 more surgeries. 1 year later, he's seen walking without crutches, and then, nothing short of a miracle, Alex Smith is cleared to play and earns a backup quarterback role with Washington, and then, yup, you guessed it, 2 years after the tragic injury, he plays in a game. Talk about beating the odds. Beating the odds was also in the cards for this longtime ESPN NFL reporter. Best known for his coverage of the NFL Draft, Chris Mortensen survived cancer, and not just any cancer. Chris was diagnosed with throat cancer. Of all the cancers, Chris gets hit with the one that targets him for what he's best known for, talking about NFL breaking news. While he took time away during treatments, there hasn't been many emotional sports television moments like his return to the big screen. To take us home, the man at #1 embodies toughness and a winning attitude. Teddy Bruschi was on top of the world. On February 6, 2005, Teddy was celebrating his third Super Bowl victory with his team, the New England Patriots. Less than 2 weeks later, just a few days after the Pro Bowl, Teddy suffered a stroke due to a blood clot. After his recovery, he showed us all to never give up. Teddy climbed Mount Kilimanjaro and ran the Boston Marathon. On the weekends, he co-hosts ESPN's Sunday Countdown. I don't know about you, but Teddy and every other story on this list tells us one thing. Life is short, so don't stop fighting for it. If you liked the emotional moments and are now looking for the lighter side of football, then you'll love these 1 in a million NFL moments. And don't forget to subscribe and like the video. This crazy play did go as intended at number 18. You can't call this Chiefs team boring. They played Ring Around the Rosie with their huddle, and then went out and converted a 2-point conversion.